Hi there, my name is Leah and I am here to offer you a little taste of a gentle yoga class. This will be pretty brief, just about 30 minutes, and we'll have a little meditation during our resting days at the end. Typically classes run from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes or so. So kind of a condensed practice, but we'll get all of the components. So that said, just want to take a few moments to go over some stuff that you may find in practice class outside of your home normally, and what you can use while you're at home to replace those things. So when you go to a gym or a studio, you may find these kinds of yoga bolsters. They resemble kind of long couch cushions, and they're either these rectangular shapes, or sometimes you see them a more like a big round one. You can absolutely create the same thing with some blankets. So as you can see, if I take this blanket and I hold it in this kind of narrow rectangle, it is about the same length and width as the bolster. So you can stack those up to be whatever height you need to simulate a bolster, and odds are pretty good that you have a blanket at home. Other things you may find are blocks, these foam yoga blocks that you use for support and postures. You probably don't have these at home. They're not a common item, but what you likely do have at home is a good sturdy hardcover book. So that can also be used to bring the ground up to you, or to support the props so that you can get a better representation of the pose that you're working with, that you would use that prop for. And our yoga straps are another thing that you find at gyms and studios. These resemble a fabric belt. They usually have a buckle at one end, and they're anywhere from 4 to 8 feet long, depending on the type and style that the place where you're practicing is chosen to purchase. So if you don't have these, again, no problem. It's not absolutely necessary. You can use the belt or strap from your robe. You can use a canvas belt if you have one. Maybe 2 of them put together if that works for you. Or if you have a yoga mat carrier, they resemble, are often made out of a similar material. They'll have a loop at each end, so that is a fantastic substitute. And one of the best props that you're going to have at home is your wall. So I will be using the wall for a few of our postures today, so that you can see how that can help you with the gentle yoga practice, really get into opening up and moving into some spaces that you might otherwise have difficulty into. So if you have a wall and you have a blanket, you're good to go with pretty much any gentle or most of the class yoga practices for that matter. So to begin, we pretty much always start yoga practice by coming into the practice space through the breath. So we want to get centered. We want to start sending away distractions from outside of our practice space. For the purpose of a yoga class, our practice space is that space on our mat. It's our bodies, it's our minds, it's our breath. So work within that. I may cue a certain number of breaths in a posture. You may have more breaths or fewer breaths, depending on the pace of your breath. That's okay. There's no reason that you have to fit exactly into what I'm suggesting. I'm merely here to suggest some options that will help you release a little tension, a little stress, get a little release, get a little stretch of muscles to a nice space of mindfulness. That said, find your way into a comfortable position. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position. Maybe you're sitting on the ground the way that I am, the legs crossed. It's often very nice to take one of these blankets that you may have to use as a little assistance prop and prop up onto it, so that you can get the sit bones or the hips a little bit higher than or even with the knees. That can help to prevent any low back pain. If this is still uncomfortable for you, you can certainly obviously have the legs extended or one of each. You can rest with your back against the wall if that's more comfortable for you. And you can practice from a chair, whether you simply do this beginning opening portion from a chair, or You practice the entire thing in a chair. So find your way into your comfortable seat and allow yourself to settle in where you can sit nice and still. And take your awareness to your breath. Maybe you allow the eyes to softly gaze toward the ground. You may even want to close the eyes. It's entirely personal preference. Notice that sensation of breath at the tips of the nostrils. Follow that path past the sinuses, the throat, lungs, and abdomen expanding. Softening navel center, drawing toward the spine, the chest softening, throat, and sinuses. Feeling that sensation of breath moving through those spaces. Notice the difference between the inhalation and the exhalation, variance in temperature and texture between each of these phases. We'll begin to get some gentle movement into the body. Let's start to just turn the head gently from side to side, as if slowly shaking the head no, getting a little movement into the neck. Start to connect the breath and the movement. So maybe you inhale in one direction and exhale in the other. Maybe you inhale as you come to center and exhale as you turn your head to the side. And again, this movement can be as large or as small as your body needs it to be. I will tend to exaggerate movements to make sure that you're able to see and follow what it is that I'm trying to do. But you should work with what works in your body. And work with what works in your body today. What happened last week or last month or last year? It's different from today, different from what will happen next week, next month, and next year. The next time the chin is in that neutral position, we'll pause in stillness and allow the chin to drop toward the chest and then come up toward the sky. 2 more times here. Chin slowly comes down toward the chest. Maybe you stop at the top of the head of the sky. Maybe you're able to bring the chin up toward the sky. We're looking to get some movement and stretch through the front and the back of the neck here. Pause in stillness with that neck in a neutral position, chin parallel to the ground. Start to notice any distracting thoughts, anything that takes you away from this space on your mat, this focusing on the practice in the mind. Whether those are noises or distracting thoughts. Begin to visualize a storage space. Maybe it's a closet, a box, a chest of drawers, anything at all that you would use to store away clutter. Those distractions represent themselves as bits of clutter in the mind. As you inhale, we'll bring the fingertips to the sky, allowing yourselves to gather that mental clutter. As you exhale, allow the arms to come back and down, pressing that mental clutter into that storage space. Inhale, fingertips come up to the sky, making some circles with the shoulders as you clear the clutter from your mental practice space. 2 more times, just like this. Inhale, fingertips come up toward the sky. Exhale, press that clutter into your storage space. Last time right here, grabbing a hold of it. Releasing it into that storage space, pause in stillness, sealing that off with an exhale. Bring the hands in front of us with an inhalation. Exhale, press the hands away from you. Close the fingers, pull the arms back. Open the hands, pressing the arms away. Closing into fists and pulling the arms back. So getting movement into the wrists, the elbows, the fingers. Start to think about some sort of intention or dedication that you'd like to set for your practice today. One single positive word that you'd like to attract or receive as you come through this little series of movements. One more round of breath. And allow your fingertips to float down toward the ground once again. As you begin to repeat that intention to yourself, we'll start to get some movement through the midsection of the body. So you can leave your fingertips to the ground. You can place the hands on the lap. If you're doing that, try and have the palms up so that you're not using the arms for this movement, or I actually like to put my hands together at heart center. For your hands at heart center, or stack the hands over the heart. Allow yourself to shift over toward the right. The sit bones remain firmly planted on the ground. Come forward to center, over to the left, and then back. Right, forward, left, and back. And again, this movement can be very, very small. This movement can be very, very large. The important thing is that we're using the muscles in the core of the body. We're not just rolling around on the sit bones or on the legs. We're getting some opening and movement into the low back, into those hip spaces. And the next time you find yourself forward and center, we'll pause here, allow the hands to come down to the ground. Maybe this is where you stay. You feel a nice stretch through the low back here. Maybe you allow yourself to sink, forearms coming down to the ground, to your blanket, or if you had a yoga block, you can bring your block here, to a book. Wherever your body is right now is where you need to be. One more nice, slow, even breath right here. With your next inhale, we'll slowly come back up to our seats. Allow the legs to extend out in front of you. Bring the fingertips to the sky with an inhalation. As you exhale, the hands come back behind you. I'm going to turn to face the opposite direction so that you can see what I'm doing here. So your fingertips will come up, hands come behind you, either the tops of the fists or the palms rest at the ground behind you, let the chest press toward the sky. You can look out in front of you, or you can allow the gaze to come up to the sky. Nice stretch across the front of the chest, stretching through the arms. Be mindful that you're not locking the elbows. You want a nice soft space in the elbows. Inhale as you come back up to sit. Fingertips come to the sky, and you'll bring your right hand down to the right side and allow yourself to lean to the right side, pulling those left fingertips across the body. So again, sit bones are firmly planted on the ground. We do not want to roll onto that hip. Allow yourself to stay nice and connected, stretching the right side of the body. With your next inhale, we'll come up. Those fingertips find the sky, and as you exhale, drop that left hand down, those right fingertips come across. 2 more breaths right here. Or 3 or 4 or maybe only 1. Remember, your pace, your breath. Inhale up. Exhale, find your way back to a nice neutral seat. We are going to come into what's called tabletop posture. So you can sweep the legs out to the side. You can roll over crossed ankles. If your knees or your wrists tend to be sensitive, I would recommend using a blanket underneath the knees or under the wrists or both. So for tabletop, that is exactly as it sounds. We want to have the knees pretty much directly below the hips. Wrists are pretty much directly below the shoulders. Your neutral space, the back is nice and flat. And as you inhale, coming into a cow pose, we draw the tailbone and the shoulders toward the sky, allowing the abdomen to drop. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone and the shoulders toward navel center, rounding the back. Try that 1 or 2 more times, just moving through the spine. Exhaling as you round back. Inhaling into that cow. Exhaling back into that angry cat. Now maybe we get the head involved. Inhale, the gaze comes up. Exhale, the chin comes toward the chest. 2 more times here. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rounding back. Last one right here. We'll pause in stillness with a nice flat back. Finding a stabilizing posture for the spine. Allow those right toes to come back toward the back of your mat. So you'll notice my toes are resting at the ground. And then allow that foot to come up. Maybe that works in the body, maybe not. Maybe you press the foot into the wall behind you. you're using a wall or a wall. Let's allow that left hand to come out in front. So we want to pull the fingers toward the space in front of you as you press the sole of the foot toward the space behind you. Sunbird or bird dog pose, engaging the muscles in the core of the body as you stretch through the leg and the arm. If you're not by a wall, it's also often nice to allow those toes to point away from you. Getting a nice big long stretch. One more breath here. Exhale, release. Come back into your tabletop and we'll switch sides. Let those left toes find the back of your mat, lifting the foot up. So it's important to try and keep the leg hip height or lower. We don't want to really come up into this arch. It makes it harder to maintain our stability. So keeping that nice long line. If you're away from the wall, maybe point the toes away. Otherwise, the foot can press into the wall. And those right fingers will pull in the opposite direction. 2 more breaths here. Last full breath right here. Exhale, release. Finding your way back into your neutral tabletop position. Get a little more movement through the body into a posture or a series of movements. It really is called barrel rolls. So it's builds on our cat and cow posture. Allow yourself to drop into that cow pose. So the tailbone and the shoulders come toward the sky. As you continue to inhale, allow the rib cage to shift over toward the right. As you start to exhale, round back into that cat pose and allow the rib cage to shift over toward the left. 3 more times here. Inhaling to cow and to the right. Exhaling to cat and to the left. 2 more rotations. And this again is something that can be done from a seated position or simply coming through something very similar to what we did at the beginning with those spinal movements. The next time you find yourself coming into your cow pose, we'll pause in that cow posture. And then this time, as you continue to inhale, come over to your left, round back, shift the ribs to the right, and come back into cow. I'm going to demonstrate the seated variation if you choose to sit through this video next time. Otherwise, continue to stay in your tabletop. So what you're going to do is you're going to allow yourself to keep hands free, and we're making circles with the middle of the body, as if you could take the base of the rib cage and draw circles on the ground surrounding you. One more time, whether you're in tabletop or in a seated position. And the next time you find yourself coming toward that cow pose, we'll come back to that nice neutral flat spine. From here, we'll get a little more movement into our wrists, into our elbows, into our shoulders, into our knees. So from tabletop, let's take the hands out in front of us a little bit. And then allow your weight to shift toward your hands. This is a little modified plank, navel center thrust for the spine. Navel center is belly. Exhale. Press those sit bones towards your heels. The arms extend out in front of you. Bend at the elbows as you come forward. Notice that cow-like sway in the back. Straighten the arms. Round the back cat style as you sink your sit bones towards your heels. 2 more times here. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you round back. Last one here. And allow yourself to settle into what's called child's pose. Sit bones sink toward the heels. Maybe the knees separate toward opposite sides of the mat so the chest can find the ground. Maybe not. Maybe you stack your forearms. Resting the head on the forearms. 1 more breath right here. With your next inhalation, we'll find our way back to our tabletop, and we're going to start using that wall. So we're going to use the wall for some poses that may otherwise be a challenge or even inaccessible, depending on what might be going on in your body. So from our seated position, allow your hip to rest right up against the wall. So we're going to bring our legs up the wall. It's not a graceful posture to get into. There's really pretty much no way to make it graceful. But once you're there, we can access a lot of stuff. So we roll back onto our back, allow the legs to come up the wall. If your hamstrings are pretty open, you may be able to slide up so that your sit bones rest against the baseboard on your wall, maybe not. And it's okay if it's too tight, if it hurts being this close to the wall or it's uncomfortable, allow yourself to scoot back a little bit. The heels rest at the wall. This is a great resting posture, but we're not quite ready to rest yet. So let's allow the right foot to come down to the wall. And then we'll allow that right knee to open out toward the right side of the room. So you can kind of stick that right foot behind the left leg if you'd like, or you can leave the sole of the foot next to the inside of the left leg. And this is allowing us to get into a nice hip opener. It's a variation on a fallen tree pose. Start to focus on the breath once again. And this time notice if you're breathing quickly or slowly. Try and let the inhale and the exhale last about the same amount of time. Using the breath to soften any areas where you might find sticking or catching of the breath. Smooth, quiet, even path. In through the nose and out through the nose. One more breath right here. We'll let the right foot find its way back to the wall. Extend that leg up nice and long. We'll do the same thing with the left side. So bring that left foot down and then allow the knee to roll open to the left side of the room. And again, maybe the sole of the foot just hovers near the inside of the right thigh. Maybe you kind of tuck that foot through that little gap behind the knee if there is one. Whatever is comfortable for you. Just continuing to focus on the breath. You may want to have a blanket behind your head. Sometimes it's nice to have a blanket under the hips, particularly if you're not in a carpeted room. If the low back is tight, sometimes having that little elevation of a blanket underneath the hips can be beneficial. And the next time you inhale, let that left foot find the wall. And then the leg extends up toward the sky once again. Heels resting against the wall. Working with a bridge posture. This one uses a lot of strength in the hips, the legs, the knees, the core of the body. So sometimes if we have any issues with the ankles, the knees, or the hips, this can be inaccessible or a big challenge. So doing this at the wall can offer you the opportunity to practice this if it was otherwise inaccessible. So allow the feet to come down to the wall. We're going to, the knees come in toward your chest. We're going to press the feet into the wall and the knees start to grow toward the sky. And that's when you let you roll the spine up and then bring it back down. A little kind of massage, allowing each vertebra to move, rolling all the way up toward the shoulders or stopping anywhere along the way. One more time here. If it works for you, maybe you come back up into that wall bridge and hold there. Maybe you keep moving 2 or 3 more times. Just give yourself another breath or 2. Whatever it is that you've decided to do. And then slowly find your way back down onto your mat. So from here, we'll find our way into our resting posture. Let's roll to one side. Pause for a breath. Take the top hand and press it into the ground. Slowly press up. And then find your space on your mat. where you can rest comfortably. So again, you want to have blankets available. If you'd like to place a blanket, a rolled blanket behind your knees is very, very nice. That's something that we often see the bolster used for, is to place it behind the knees when we come into this space of rest. That can help to alleviate tension in the low back if you tend to be uncomfortable lying on your back. So this particular posture with the legs extended long and the arms alongside the body is often referred to as Shavasana, or in some yoga traditions we call it Sukhasana. Easy pose or crow's pose. The easy pose is Sukhasana, Shavasana is the crow's pose. If this does not work in your body, another option is to bring the soles of the feet to the ground with the knees pointing toward the sky. Maybe allowing the feet to walk toward opposite sides of the mat so the knees can drop toward each other. Maybe you prefer to rest lying on your side, seated in a chair, or resting on your abdomen. So find the space that works for you. You can have a blanket or a bolster behind the knees, behind the head, or both. You want to find the space where you feel completely supported when you can come into a space of rest. Eyes can be open or closed. Return awareness to the breath. Notice the points where the body expands toward the mat with the inhalation, where it softens away as you exhale. Feel the sides of the body expanding and softening with each breath. With your next inhalation, bring your awareness to the tips of the toes. Soften all 10 toes, both feet. The legs from the ankles to the knees. Legs from the knees to the hips. Noticing the legs, the tips of the tailbone, the feet, the toes. This root of the body, this connecting space. And as you breathe here a few times, repeat to yourself, I am stable and secure. I am stable and secure. I am stable and secure. With your next inhalation, bring awareness to the hips, the low back, the lowest part of the abdomen, the low part of the digestive system. Breathing as if you could breathe into and out of this space. Begin to mentally repeat to yourself with a few breaths. I make positive choices. I create a positive life for myself and my family. I make positive choices. I create a positive life for myself and my family. With your next inhalation, let your awareness find its way to the middle of the body. The middle of the abdomen, the sides of the waist, the middle of the back. Most of your digestive system, your kidneys, your adrenal glands. And as you breathe into and out of this space a couple of times, mentally tell yourself, I take action for positive changes in my life. I act to create a positive life. I act to create a positive life. Your next round of breath, bring your awareness to the center of the chest, the space where the heart and the lungs reside, the rib cage, the arms, the hands, the fingers, the shoulders. As you breathe into and out of this space, begin to mentally repeat to yourself, I give and receive compassion, forgiveness, and love. I freely give and receive compassion, forgiveness, and love. I freely give and receive compassion, forgiveness, and love. Your next round of breath, bring your awareness to the center of the throat, to your mouth, your jaw, your chin, your ears. And as you soften and settle into awareness of this space for a few breaths, mentally repeat to yourself, I speak my truth with kindness and positivity. I listen with compassion and love. I speak with kindness and compassion, positivity. I listen with kindness, compassion, and love. Your next inhalation, bring awareness to the eyes, the temples, the space between the eyebrows, the center of the forehead, the entire forehead, and the frontal lobe of the brain. And as you breathe into and out of this space, begin to mentally tell yourself, I see the path to my goals. I see and follow the path to a positive life for myself and my family. I see and follow the path to a positive, happy life. With your next inhalation, bring your awareness all the way to the top of the head, close to the brain, but also that space right at the very, very top of your head, the crown of the head. And as you breathe into and out of this space, having your awareness here, begin to mentally repeat to yourself, I have the right to my faith and my spirituality. I have the right to my faith, my spirituality. I have the right to know and to practice my faith and my spirituality. With your next several breaths, breathe as if you could bring air in through the top of the head and send it out through the fingers and the toes, allowing the entire body to soften and settle toward the ground. As if you could feel the air move from the top of the head to the tips of the toes and back. As if you could feel the air move from the top of the head to the tips of the fingers and back. Noticing if there are any areas of tension or discomfort remaining. With your exhale, send that tension or discomfort out through the fingers and the toes. Let's begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe you open and close the hands. Maybe you rotate the wrists and the ankles, getting any movements that make sense in your body. You might want to rock your head from side to side gently. Maybe you bring the feet to the ground, allowing the knees to point toward the sky. Start to sway the knees from side to side, nice and easy. Feeling some movement in the low back, the low abdomen, the waist, the hips, the sides of the legs. When you are ready, know that there is absolutely no rush. Allow yourself to gently roll to one side, whichever side comes naturally to you. Resting your head on the bottom arm or on a blanket or pillow that you may have already had behind your head. Taking another breath or two here on your seat or on your side before coming to a seat. When you are ready, we'll press that top hand into the ground, slowly pressing up to a seated position on the mat. Nice, stable space. Sitting up nice and tall. Feel that breath moving through the body, that long line of energy, that stability of the spine and all of the muscles in the body. Think about that positive word that you picked at the beginning of the class that you wanted to carry with you through this little practice. We'll bring the hands up as if ready to receive it. As you inhale, Bring those hands with that intention to the heart, that space where the desire was formed. As you exhale, press the hands in front of you and let the arms sweep out to the sides, clearing away obstacles on the path between you and that intention. One more time. Let's get those hands toward the heart, bringing that intention right there. Exhale, clear that path, getting rid of anything that stands in your way. We'll bring our hands back to the heart. Prayer hands, or to get palms together in prayer hands, or you can stack the hands over the heart. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me, this energy, this practice. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be secure. May you have inner peace. May you be free, and may you be loved. We close our practice with a little forward fold, honoring ourselves and each other. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.